Hello and welcome back to Royal Majesty Talk. I'm your host, Funsho Timothy. First of all, I want to thank every one of you that's been supporting the program for the past month. Thank you very much. Keep your support coming. For this program, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to go straight to the point. If you own a husband and your wife is a new arrival in the diaspora, would you encourage her to go into the healthcare profession? Or would you encourage her to go into the nursing field? I mean, considering what's going on now among healthcare professionals, especially nurses, divorce rising, separation going around. I mean, would you encourage her? Would you support her saying, "I want to go into nursing profession"? Well, that's the question you and I are gonna have to figure out today. With me this morning, I got four wonderful folks that's gonna be talking about this great topic. I'm gonna start from my far right, Miss Tito Lope Akonji from the state of Maryland. Welcome, Mr. Lope. Akonji. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kabiyesi.
Mr. Diego Pascal, a psychiatric nurse from the state of Maryland. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you.
And Mr. Manuel Ade from New York. Mr. Ade, welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
And of course, last but not the least, Mr. Lope Adesinyon from Kent, London. He's also a nurse. Mr. Olu, welcome to our program. Can you hear me, Tolu?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. All right,
Yes,
Mr.
I
Akonji, I'm
can.
going to start with you. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Akonji. Okay. All right. Some men really don't want the spouse to go into this profession, but because of the pressure from the so-called societal that we live in the diaspora, well, we unwillingly allow them to do so. How do you see that in some men that even though they don't support it, but they just have to do it because the pressure from the society is too much?
Um, I wouldn't. For me, I think basically you should before even coming into the diaspora. I feel both spouse should have talked about. They should have made plans before coming, first of all, and talked about the things that are possible for them to do when they get here. And if from the woman's perspective, because most of the time is the woman that goes into nursing, and if that has been her choice even before they come here, probably she has a background in nursing before coming here, and she wants to forge ahead in that. I don't think there's any reason why the husband should say no. She shouldn't go ahead, and coupled with the fact that people make a lot of money here in nursing, so it's just basically it's just understanding between the both spouse. They should talk about it. Look for what are
Mm-hmm.
the positive things they can do, and if nothing is an option, I think they should. You should just support her and let her go and do it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Manuel. All right. Would you support your wife going to nursing profession? Would you encourage her to do so?
Mm, Your Highness, well, let me say something about what my sister just said. You know, 70% of people who come to abroad, they interested with the money in nursing. They don't have the passion. It's about the money. See, a lot of them when they are in Nigeria or Ghana or Mali, they will never go into that profession. But because they come into the diaspora, you know, they find their self in the Western world. That's why they choose that profession because they know they make a lot of money. And so you will see that mostly our women in Africa, the men take care of the home. The men pay the school fees, pay the rent, mostly. I would say mostly 70%. The men take responsibility of the bills. But over here, if they get to this country, the Western world, and they start making a lot of money, because what I know is that a lot of them haven't seen big money before in the time they were in Africa. So when they get here, they start making maybe 80,000 a year, and they become arrogant. They look their husband like a trash. When their husband is talking, they look like the husband like a stupid person talking. So when the husband say B, they will say D. They will never go the same way with their husband. So that's what I see. That's what I see.
All right.
For me, I see if you don't know the person that you marry very well, it's not encouraging to let them go into that line.
Okay.
Unless you know the person that you marry, the person that you are with, you know her very well.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ade. On that point, I would say that some people might say that, okay, look, my wife is different. Okay, it may happen to somebody's wife, but my wife is different. Mr. Dego, do you support that notion that not all these ladies that went to the nursing profession turn out to be hard-headed or very disrespectful to their spouses? Some of them are much better off than they came in. Do you support that idea?
Thank you for the question. First of all, coming in, I seem to be the mouse in the house, being in the nursing field, and haven't done it for like 12 years. I'm still in, the stereotype of people vilifying nurses for their way of life or their change of style goes a long way, which is sometimes it appears to those who are not in the field or those who don't have relatives or spouse, as you said, that are in the field practicing and manifesting those behaviors that we're talking about. It is really mind-boggling because to start with, most of us come abroad to better our lives. We come for a better life. And what is better life? Better life doesn't only mean the money. It also means the ease to get into making money and the possibility of making money and staying there without facing the stereotype, the racism, and the services that are needed at all times. Of which nursing has proved to be the only or the easiest one that gives us all those things. When people talk about nurses that they make money, they don't make the most money. They just have a flexibility of, right? They just have flexibility of having a job that you can fire a nurse here today. They hire somewhere and they make more money. That's why many people that get into nursing, they look at all those windows. So it's not like people don't come from Africa without being a nurse. I never ever thought I was going to be in the nursing field one day. In fact, when I came to this country, when I'm in my living room, my mom's come from his job, I'm going to the room. I didn't want to see scrubs. But today I'm talking to you as a nurse because I realized that having learned other things, that's something that can pay me all the time. That's something that I can go in and get fired today, attend somewhere, they even pay me higher because they know my experience. It's a field that's needed at all times. Black man, white man, green man, there's no racism in the field. Not many people go there. It's not just because of the money. And some people go there because of the passion for it. So when it comes to spouses working, making money from the nursing field, many people I've seen families that are broken up. It's not just because the nurse is going to work. It's because the man stops working because the woman is making more money. So there's too many controversies in it. You have to really be part of it to know or be in somebody's situation to know what it is. And even sometimes people that are in, they don't even understand. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away the fact that there is, shitty things getting done by nurses, especially those that go away for too long. Some go on travel nursing for months. Things change. Things happen. We're living in this world where there is differences. It's not like Africa where people have so much nice behavior being circled by other people that will tell on you or will shout at you for doing them. Yeah, nobody cares. So when people want to do their things, they do it. Okay, so I'm coming back to the field of nursing. It's all about who we are. People choose to do what they do. Let's not generalize the things that happen in the nursing field, and let's not vilify those who send their women or that come here to go do nursing. People have different reasons for doing things, and people have different attitudes that turn out different from, as you can see from the results that we all talk about.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Dego. I would like us answer to be short so that we can cover so many points today. Mr. Lu, you live in London, right? You've had always talk about nursing profession here in the US and how most of them are stigmatized for the role they play in homes getting destroyed or homes getting separation and divorce. Is it the same thing back there in London? I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
You need to unmute.
She's muted.
Zulu? Zulu, you're not, we can't hear you. Is she muted?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, you can hear you, but then turn your volume up a little bit. Turn your volume up on, please. Huh?
Okay.
Turn your volume up.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I've
Yeah, it's
done
better.
that already. Can you hear me now? The speaker, yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Is it better now? Okay.
Yeah, yes,
All right. I
yes,
said,
go ahead.
Mr. Pascal, that you are not the only, I'm also a nurse. Yeah. Yeah, in England, I'm also a nurse. Yeah. Okay, just to correct the notion that when you go into nursing, you make more money, like you said. And fortunately, I'm a nurse, and my husband too is a nurse back from Nigeria. Yeah. And then we also came here and then we followed the due process and we are into nursing here. So like people say, like I think they used to say nurses are promiscuous, nurses are into like there is that notion generally that when you are a nurse, it means you're wayward, it means you're this. But I think it's changing now. Then like sponsoring your husband or a wife to become a nurse, like there is this saying that you don't know someone until you test them with money or with halflings. So it's like few months ago there was an elderly man that came on posting as a student, and then I was surprised to see such an elderly man in his 50s to be a student nurse. And then I had to ask him, it was for my place. And then I asked him that, Mr. Lekon, why are you into this? He said that the number of people he has like encouraged and told to go into nursing, that they seems to be making more money than he's doing. And that's why he's going into nursing. For such a person, by the time he now become a nurse, if he's not making such money that he thought is in nursing, he will be disappointed. But if you, as a man or a woman, you want to like send your wife or your husband to become a nurse, there should be an agreement between both parties. Like, okay, if you're going to, and then there are diversity in nursing, with the shift that we do, and especially here in UK. Like, if you're an agency nurse, you might be away from home for days, and then here that you don't have the extended family support like we used to have back at home, then it means that if it's the man that is away, then the wife will be with the children at home. If it's the husband that is away, then like vice versa. So like if they don't like trust themselves, if there's a trust issue, if then there will be problem in the family. So it's not just sponsoring. Like we were both nurses before coming here, but like there must be trust. There must be. I think that's what I want to say about it. And then like if you are that there's this video that was trending sometimes ago that a man killed the wife because she was a nurse and she was making much money, and then she was bringing in her family. She brought in her mom, and then when he killed her, he was saying, "Yes, now bring in your mom." You're saying I can't bring in my home. You're saying this, but like I'm sure there must have been several versions to that thing that happened. So like if you are promiscuous, it's not just nursing that will make you to be promiscuous. Anyone into any profession can be. If you are, and then if you are make, then you know, like with affluence and with money, and then you are able to relate with a number of people. When and then during the outbreak of this COVID-19, there were people that were thanking nurses for their, like if
Okay. All right, Tolu. All right, Tolu. We're gonna have to hold on that. Okay. Hold on to your thought a little bit. Hold on to your thought. Okay, Tolu. Hold on to your thought, and we're going to Mr. Akonji. Mr. Akonji. All right.
okay, okay.
All right. Tolu. Oh, Tolu. Mr. Akonji, go ahead. All right, Mr. Akonji, this is a question. Okay. All right. You heard about this guy in Texas that killed his wife because
Yes, please.
his wife didn't.
Yes, please. I can hear you.
All right, Tolu, hold on to your thought, okay? We want to move to Mr. Akonji for a while, and then we'll come back. I'll come back to you later, okay? All right. You know,
Yeah.
it's been said so many times that some men, out of, I don't know if you call it laziness or not just really want to do much, they tend to push their spouses into nursing field so that they can just sit at home and cash in the checks. So is that a notion that you've had a lot? Because I've had people saying that some of these men, the reason why they send their spouses to nursing school because they don't want to work and they want the wife to go there and just make the money. They just sit at home and just cash in the checks. What do you think on that?
Okay, that could be the case, but I've not had a lot of people that has happened to. But that could be the case in some ways. But any man that is doing that, I don't know, is really not helping himself because he's setting his wife or his spouse on trap. Because why would you say the woman should go and be making money and you want to be spending it? She's eventually going to get tired of being the one, being the breadwinner of the home,
Yeah.
and start looking outside, and a lot of things can happen to that home. So I would advise any man that is looking to do that or that is doing that currently to not do that. It's not a good idea for your home.
Yeah.
And then the woman I think the reason why men think women can go out there and be a nurse because it's more liberal for a woman. And back in Africa, we always think women are the nurses, men are the doctors. So that mentality also make men when they come here want to push their wife to be the ones to go for the nursing because they don't see it befitting for them as a man to do the job.
Yeah.
So I think that's also another reason.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've seen. I mean, where we came from, we don't see men going to nursing field, but that has changed here now. A lot of if you go to nursing schools now, you see a lot of men there. A lot of men are going to nursing school now, so it's not we are not Africa anymore. Things have
Yes,
changed
but still compared
back
to
home.
other countries, Africans, you don't find a lot of African men doing nursing because
Yeah,
African men, they are very proud. They have that pride. So anything that will be little there, you don't really find them going in. They
yeah,
prefer to be doing delivery instead
yeah,
of being a nurse. So
yeah. That's true.
that's my
Yeah.
own line of thought.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kanji. Mr. D, Mr. Dego mentioned something about passion. Okay, that most of these ladies that are into nursing, the passion they have for the job. I mean, nobody questions the passion they have for this job. Nobody questions it. But when your passion overrides your primary responsibility, that is where the problem lies. Okay, you're supposed to be a mother first, and then a worker or a professional first. But then when you twist it around and become a professional first, and your spouse second, or whatever your role in the house becomes secondary, that is the problem. So now, Mr. Ade, how do you factor that? Passion
You
over
you
over home or home over passion?
You see, anybody that go into any professional and make money first, you see, make money become his first priority. I'm telling you, if that person is a woman, he have problem in his marriage. If it's a man, he will have problem in his marriage, because all his targets are about money. You know, all his targets are about money, making money. You know, so a lot of things will fall apart. You see, so money is good, but the way you have to, chase money, it's not like that kind of person you see. This kind of people that you see, any overtime, they're gonna take it. Any overtime at all, they're gonna take it,
Yes.
because it's about money. It's about money. You know. So for me, money is good. Money is good. In fact, when you make the money, especially in this area that I'm living here, in the Bronx, anybody who know the Bronx, it's a drug addict city. You know, this city is full of drug addicts. So if you are raising a child and you don't pay attention, you pay attention to your job more than your family. Believe me, by the time you finish, you see that all your children become a drug addict, and you'll be a loser. I'm telling you, you'll be a big loser. You see?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're right, Mr. D. I mean, the society that you live or the environment that you live sometimes can influence you to change your ways, your attitude, and then sometimes you let that override your judgment. Mr. Dego, okay, most men, when you ask them in this question, most men that have had issue with their spouses or have issue with their home or had separation in their homes, prior to the wife going to this nursing school, okay. You ask them, they said, "Oh, why are you sending your wife to nursing school? Or why are you encouraging your wife to nursing school? Don't you hear about these statistics about they always do da, 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 da. And she said, oh, they'll say, no, I know my wife. She will never, she's too good. She's came from a good home. She will never be in that situation. But 10 years from there, down the line, they're in that situation. So now, how do you factor that? The person you thought you met or you knew when you were back home in Africa, came from a good home and then became a nurse and everything just fell apart. How do you factor that?
Well, thanks for the question, though. Like I said, and I think Mr. Kunji also pour light on that. I think it goes from person to person. To becoming a nurse doesn't really make a person. If a person was a bad person growing up, they're just gonna be amplified when things come together. Being the nurse that they have a lot of time in their hands and having the money to play around, and and making even making the choice to be the nurse. I don't believe when people have to push their spouse to or force their spouses to become a nurse, thinking that's not the only way to make money. There are other ways. My wife is not a nurse. I wanted her to be nurse as much as possible, but she told me I don't want to do it. It's not for me. Even back in Africa, I told her to do it before coming here, but she's doing something else. So I won't encourage people to push them too much. Instead, open other windows that they can see other better things that can work for the family, especially in situations where you have a big family or family coming up. Somebody has to be there for the kids, like Mr. Akonji was saying. If there's nobody there for the kids, all the money will only mean hell in the near future. In the near future, it's just a matter of time. African kids already started carrying guns. So it's a matter of time. It will come on to us if people don't have to sit back and know what they do or professions that they go into, which might secure their families. So I believe that's the ways you can go in between those things is understanding, like Mr. Lu said, understanding is enough to make the whole difference. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dago. I mean, I still want you to talk about it, but we will get to that point later on. The reason why good women, good We say good boy turn bad or bad girl turn bad. I mean turn good, because this is a notion that I really want to address. But we'll get to that. Let me talk to Otolu for a minute, because the notion that the person you thought you knew, okay, you knew her, she came from a good home, and they got here to the diaspora, got to the nursing profession, and they just became a different person. Okay, they just turned from night to day within a short time. How do you justify that, Mr. Lu? I'm gonna come to you now. Now, I've talked to a lot of ladies, lady nurses who are doing nurses. Yeah, they love what they're doing, but the thing they always tell me is this: they didn't love this profession. They just being forced to, or they just being because they just want to satisfy their spouses. That's what they're doing. Okay, have you met anyone in that profession that says, you know what, I didn't like this profession. It's because my husband want me to do it. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, like I said, that I've met an elderly man as a student nurse. And then he told me that everyone he has introduced to nursing profession are doing financially better than he's doing. I think that should not just be the only reason of going into nursing. If that is the only reason of going into nursing, by the time you start to make the money as a woman, it might get into you that now I'm the one paying the bills. And then, generally as a lady, if you are the one paying the bills and you are making more money, you become arrogant. It's normal. That's why is it I'll be the one doing this? Why is it I'll be the one paying this bill? And in this part of the world, there are several bills to be paid. And then, like, if you're the one doing like more than 50% as a lady, it can get into you. And then, if you don't have a passion for the profession and you are pushed into it, maybe by your spouse, and then he sponsor you through the nursing school, and then when you start to make the money, then it's like siphoning the money from you. Then you want to control you, but you be like, I'm the one making this money. I go out, and like if you are not making as much as he's expecting from you, like he will keep demanding for more. Like if I sponsor you, I will see it as a business, and then I want you to like bring him up. Then it's like a loss. So if I'm seeing you as if I'm seeing it that also me into nursing school, you pay my school fees, and then you're seeing me as a business, like as a means of livelihood, then I will like personally, I will become arrogant. I think that's what happens. Like, why are you like telling me that this, and I think that's what happens with a lot of ladies. But if they have passion for it, I went into nursing back in Nigeria when there was like I never knew there would be such opportunity for me to travel out being a nurse. But like if I was compelled into it, and then I later saw that I have to like go out, I have to walk this, I have to like being on my feet. And being a nurse, you do a lot. And then if you're like, I've done this, and then it's someone that is benefiting from this, then I think that's what changes people. Like there's this question that what changes you? What changed you? Why are you like this? You are not like this. I think that's what happens.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tolu. Thank you. You made a valid point on that, and nobody can put a finger on it. What changes people? What make people who you think has it now, and the next minute they just don't have it anymore? All right, Mr. Gondi. All right, and that you see, money can change people. I mean, we know that. Anytime you don't have money before, and all of a sudden you just came up to some kind of money, it changes your mindset, and only by virtue of being under control of maybe God, if you believe in God, or any other means of spiritual power that can guide your opinion, guide your ways of life. So we find that the most time when some of these ladies do start making money, they become arrogant. They start becoming arrogant to their spouses, rude, obnoxious, disrespectful. Do you think this is the reason why most of them go into this nursing, or just the profession just make them become these arrogant kind of people?
Okay, personally, I don't think it's the profession. For me, I don't think it's because they are nurses they become arrogant. But money could be a factor. Because if you are dependent on someone, you tend to be like submissive to the person. But when you get to a stage that now you are independent, you can get whatever you want, you can lay your hands on anything you want because of the money you're making. Naturally, except on exceptional cases, naturally you would become arrogant. You would the money will get into your head. But we have few people that money is not really a big deal to them, but the percentage is very low.
Yeah.
So, in that case, if you're when money start coming in and you're changing, I think it still boils down to the spouse, to the family, even before going into the nursing job, into the nursing profession. You guys need to come together, talk about things. I think communication is very, very key, even along the line apart from even starting the profession itself. Always communicate. These are my needs. These are my wants. I think that will go a long way to at least reduce the factor of going astray from marriage.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Akonji. Mr. Ade, all right. Well, I know that a lot of people, there's always, either side of the story on any topic that we discuss on this program. And what some people told me that the reason some of these men now feel a little bit feel a little bit complex with their wife because their life has not improved. Okay, they didn't improve their life structure. They didn't improve themselves. While the wife was going to nursing school, they never really got to improve their financial capabilities. They didn't go back to school. They didn't improve their the ways of life to increase their financial income. Do you think that could be the reason why some of these men having regrets about sending the spouse to nursing school, or is there another reason beside that?
Your Highness, what I see is that it's just like maybe you marry your wife when you were in Africa. You understand me? And you get here, and your wife maybe going into the nursing field, and your wife started making money. Your wife doesn't depend much on you anymore. You see, and sometimes if you don't take time, you like your wife to submit to you like the time you are in Africa, which will not be like the time you are in Africa. So if you don't take time, you think that why? Like Yoruba people, they will say when your wife give you food and he did not put water for you to wash your hand down in Africa, they will say it's disrespectful. It's a big case. But over here, if you don't take time, they will not put the food on the table for you. You will go in the fridge, you go and get the food, and you put it in the microwaves to eat it. So if things started happening like that, if you don't apply wisdom, you say, why my wife is doing like this? It will create a big problem.
Yes.
Because like my sister said right now, you say mostly all women who haven't seen money before, when they started seeing money, they will change. You see. So I think what I see is that when you bring your woman here and maybe she started making money, any field, either nursing, any professional, I think you have to apply wisdom a little bit. If you don't apply wisdom, there will be a problem.
Okay.
Because I don't see any woman submit to his husband like the time they were in Africa, in this country. Because my friend I have a friend who used to tell me that sometimes when you look at his wife, it's like the exchange his wife with another person. Because so you usually look at his wife like that. Say, is it not the same person I married when we were at home? So when they get here, they started even they compared themselves with the white people, the African Americans. But the African Americans, I have a lot of African American friends, even which I would say even their husband, they're not working like that, but they still manage themselves and they love each other. But an African woman, even the husband is working. Actually, now maybe he's making more money than the husband. You see, you'll be looking at the husband like the husband is no more human being. Even he can't be proud of the husband. He can't be proud of it. You can't show the man that, oh, this is my husband, because the husband is doing, it's not making money like she's making money.
Like before. All right. Thank you, Mr. Adi. Thank you, Mr. Adi. You have a valid point on that, and I can do a question there. Mr. Adego, all right. The issue of passion always comes to the picture. Okay. I never question a passion for anything that one does. I mean, you guys, see that the way I handle this other stuff we do on the side. But the thing about it is that we have found out that most time, anything you spend too much time at, you're gonna start liking it more than what your primary objective. Now you're a nurse. Okay, nothing wrong in working 8 hours and come back home to your wife, to your husband and kids. But you start working 16 hours, working more hours than you spend at home. That is the problem. Some of these men don't even mind the wife going to this school, but what they despise is the fact that the wife the nursing profession has now become the lifestyle. They neglect their home instead of they neglect their home for their jobs, and that is why homes are breaking up these days. Mr. Diego, what do you think about that?
You're on mute.
Mute.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Akonji. Let me take you back to the justification of the change of life before I will spray more light on that. First of all, before I try to justify the change of life, I believe change is a constant. Change will always come. That's a normal. If who don't expect change has a problem. So let's first deal with that. And then going from Africa to Europe or something, that's a mega change. So we expect a mega outcome. So the justification for the problems in the family in that change is that some people don't want to accept that change is going to happen. That's why there is always, it becomes tumultuous fighting and family disruption, because we don't want to accept it's change. It's here, deal with it. Because the woman that was making that I know women that had never had $100 in Africa, but here they're making $8,000, $10,000. What do you want them to do? Money is the greatest catalyst to change. It messes their brain up. So it's up to you, the man, to be able to manage the change as it comes to that point when they come. I think that is my own way that I look at it, because it's going to happen, except if you want to get self-destruct by just allowing the change sweep the family away. Okay, so that's my justification of change of life, as per the last question, Mr. Moderator. Okay, can you touch the point again on the last question? Well, the main point on the last question. I want to be very short.
The last question, if you can, I want to make it brief because we're running out of time. Is that nobody questions the fact that a nurse should work and make money, but when you start to work more hours than you stay at home, or you spend more time at your job than you spend at home, it becomes a problem. The changes is not even the issue. The time that you spend at work is the point that we are trying to figure out factor now.
Okay, thank you. Again, it boils to the same thing. When we get that change, we stick to change because we are here. People start making money. They want to make money, and lifestyle keep going up and up and up. So they demand to put more hours to get more money to make the better life. And that's how it keep going until if we're not in control or we're not in communication in tandem with the man and the woman, that's how it's gonna destroy us. If we don't have somewhere that we stop each other, it's gonna destroy us because they're gonna always want to work to make that money. So they start taking more hours, and the fight is back there because we are not having any communication or management of the family. So I just believe that's the cause of
The
too much
changes.
work being affecting the family.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. Thank you, Mr. Dego. It's really sad that we let money become a primary factor in the house, where there are other factors that really matters in the house. I mean, before money came, you have a family. That's why some homes are destroyed now because you let money become your primary objective in the house, when you have your husband, your spouse, your kids to take care of. Miss Olu, now I know you're a nurse, your husband's a nurse too. I mean, looking at what we talked about, okay, would this lifestyle be something you can condone as a wife, staying more time, spending more time at your job, and forgetting your home, or going after money and neglecting your home or your family, your husband? Would you think it's something that you ever consider doing at all?
Um, Thank you, um, Israel Haide. What I would say is, with nursing, nursing can keep you, like, if you don't want to stop working, you will keep working 365 days in a year. Like just this afternoon, I came back from a night shift. I told myself I wasn't going to work today. And then, like, on our page, they're like, "Oh, you're on leave. There is a shift tonight. Will you want to come?" And then I was like, "No, I'm not coming." Like, nothing can keep you at work 365 days in a year if you don't put a limit. And especially if you are like, you register with agencies and then you have to travel far and near, you have to be away from home. It's There should be limits to everything we do, either as a nurse or not as a nurse. But nothing, if you don't put a limit to it, it will stretch you, and then you will bring it over your family. But generally, I see family first. Family should come first. Children should come first. Spouses should come first, and not the job. But if you want to like stay away from home, nothing can keep you away from home. Even when you are not being truthful about it, no one will know because your job usually keep you away from home. And that is it. There should be limits to it. There should be family time. You should like, today I'm not working. This week I'm away from work. There should be limits to everything we do. But
Yeah,
I think the profession itself tends to like take you away from home, and we
yeah,
should like set our priority right. And that's what I
yeah.
do.
Okay,
Like, when I don't want to work, I don't want to work. When
yeah.
I want to work, I want to work. That should be
Right.
that's my thought. Yeah.
That's the valid point, Mr. Lu, and I think that every nurse should take a cue from what you just said now, because if we don't limit a time and put more emphasis on family, that is why homes are getting destroyed now, because we lay emphasis too much on money and making money. We forget that that's something that brought us to this country. Family comes first. Anything else might be secondary. All right, we're gonna round up now. Okay, the primary objective for doing this today is one, to see husbands will support, take encouraging the spouses to go to nursing school. We've heard about it. Everybody talk their own opinion. So we're gonna round up now, Mr. Akonji. I want you to round up. What is your take? Do you still believe that spouses should encourage their husbands should encourage their spouses to go to nursing school, or you think that they should think twice before they do it?
For me, I would say like what we've heard. I'm not a nurse. I don't really know the enormity of the job, but from what we've heard from people that are in the nursing field, they already said the job is really demanding. The job is going to take all your time if you're not careful. So I would only advise anyone that is trying to send their spouse into nursing school to be prepared. You guys should really, really talk about it. Thank God we have videos like this that will educate people to know, okay, this is what you're going into. There are a lot of videos on YouTube that you can watch and have an idea of what they are about to go into. Is it something you can settle with? Is it something you guys can work with when they go into it? So my advice is communicate a lot. You guys should talk about the things that you think will work for you aside nursing, because the way we see it now is really, really a tough one if you have a family. So I'll just advise everyone, please be careful, know your choices. There's nothing wrong with going into nursing. If you think you guys can stand the test of time, go ahead. I wish everybody good luck. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Konji. I think you mentioned the key point there about, you know, both parties knowing that they're going to something that nobody knew what they're going to be getting into. But Mr. Dego, now the issue now is okay. I mean, everybody when they start this program, when they discuss about going to nursing school, it was meant for a good reason, but unfortunately down the line things turn out for the worse. Now, in your case, would you still encourage, if you say you're not married now, would you encourage your wife to go to nursing school if the chance arise? Can you make it brief? We can round up.
Um, it's just like any other profession. I believe nursing is one of the most wonderful venues to venture in. Nursing is very broad. There is business in nursing. I went into psych because it's more flexible. I control my time. I even make more money than I used to make working bedside. So I will always encourage. I mean, like I said in the beginning, when I was just doing bedside nursing, I thought that was it. But there's more to it than there's more to nursing than just what you know we think from Africa. There's a
So,
lot. Nursing is a
so,
very, very broad field. So
so
I
in
always encourage people to venture if
in-
you
so
want to.
in the nutshell, Mr. Dego, you would advise your wife to go into nursing, right?
Excuse me.
I said in the
Yes.
nutshell, you advise your wife to go into nursing, right?
Yes. Why not? I
Okay.
would.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Tolu. Mr. Ade kind of went off the line, so we want to see if he when he comes back. But on your final take on this, okay? We've had your point on family values and all that, and then how much demanding the nurse profession can be, to anybody that is in that profession. But on the law, you've been a nurse, your husband is a nurse. Would you have any doubt in your mind that this is the best profession you can ever come across?
Yes, it's the best. It's the best. And like you said, there are diversity in nursing. I
Mhm.
can decide I'm not working today, and then next week I can decide no, I want to make as much as I want to make.
Yeah.
Like I can this week I want to work the number of times in this week, and then I'll work. So I will advise anyone to go into nursing. It's a good one, but you must
Okay.
be prepared for what comes with it because there are demands. It can be emotionally, it can be psychologically. Yeah, it is. But I
Yeah.
will advise anyone, very professional, and I will advise any spouse to encourage their wife or the husband to go into nursing. But if they don't want to, you don't need to compel them. I think when you compel them and they are making that money, they see it as, but you told me to go into it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
just like advice and don't compel.
Okay. Listen, guys, I really appreciate the time. And unfortunately, Mr. I didn't went off the line. I don't know what happened to his connection. Well, I'm sure I'm thanking him also if he's not here now. Mr. Dego, thank you very much, sir, for coming as usual. You're well appreciated. And I'll see you soon. Mr. Kunji, thank you very much. You're always very appreciated. And my sister from another mother,
Thank
thank you to you
you
very much.
for
And
having me.
say hello to your family there in London. I hope we will see you soon, okay? And you've all had everybody said their mind about this issue. If you're a man, if you feel like that's something for you to do, please do it for your own good, for the family's sake. And if you're a nurse and you're in the profession, family comes first. families take precedent before any other thing. After that, that's it. Guys, thank you very much. Hope to see you next time. Have a blessed day ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Nice weekend.